And first of all, before we kick it off, I'd like to start off by inviting His Excellency Dr. Anthony Maruping of the Economic Affairs Commissioner for the African Union Commission to give us the welcoming remarks. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, Belinda Obura. Your Excellencies, you have been amply introduced already by the moderator. Mine is to say how delighted I am to have this opportunity to welcome you all here, both the panel and the audience, which I hope will be very interactive. On behalf of Her Excellency Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, the chairperson of the African Union Commission. So may I welcome you to this high-level panel discussion on African Renaissance in the context of the rise of the South, in the context of the rise of the South. That's the punchline there. We do have an eminent panel here which has just been introduced. Hence, it is such a high honor really and privilege for me to make these few remarks. Allow me to begin by commending the UNDP for this important initiative and for the excellent collaboration with the African Union Commission in the organization of the panel in the margins of the 50th anniversary of the Organization of the African Organization of African Unity / African Union, as well as on other several fronts on which UNDP and ourselves we cooperate. This is not the only front on which we cooperate. So UNDP is a worthy partner of the African Union Commission on the overall, and we are always happy to partner with you. So let me tell you that there is a lot of fire in that wonderful lady when it comes to saving humanity. She spares no effort, and we have rubbed shoulders in other capacities as well in the service of humanity, particularly poor people. I wish to thank the eminent members of the panel for sparing time to accept to share with us some of their wisdom of hindsight and tremendous experience, invaluable experience about African Renaissance in this particular context of the rise of the South. You will know that President Obasanjo and President Kofu are well known for excellent management of their economies when they were in the service of their country as presidents. So financial and economic crisis in the developed countries, to varying degrees, of course, and resilience and strong growth of the South have shifted economic center of gravity. So the world is now either bipolar or multipolar. And in the early 90s, some called Africa the hopeless continent, you know, with that usual gloom and doom. As the continent was then facing so many challenges in its development effort, few people still believed in the vision of the founders of the African Organization of African Unity, which was making Africa a free and prosperous continent. Implementation of this vision was tempered by conflicts, coups, wars, drought, famines, which continue to characterize Africa through somewhat, though somewhat now abating. Indeed, this phase of Africa is changing. Even in the face of a global economic crisis, the continent is registering an average annual growth rate of over 5%. Clearly, the continent is moving away from being labeled as a hopeless continent to a continent of opportunities, of hope, and indeed a rising continent. So many things have changed over the past 10 years in the continent. There is a general acknowledgement and appreciation regarding the rise of Africa in terms of economic growth, public investment, infrastructure, and regional integration, as well as improvement in democracy and governance, stability, peace and security, and some human development indicators, albeit to differing degrees, at different rates, to mention but some. And of course, in all this, we would like to see a faster pace. Things are moving well, but it is our wish to see even a faster pace. There is also an emerging consensus that Africa's endowments plus mega trends present enormous opportunities. They include its human resources and democratic trends, especially its youthful population, which is over 50% of African population. And the youthful population always has energy, has fresh ideas, and will give that a breath of fresh air to the continent. And its women, they're long-time proven entrepreneurs, so their empowerment would make change. The rate of urbanization, the arable land and other natural resources at its disposal, the potential for energy generation, both fossil and renewables, its mineral deposits, and its long coastlines, to name but a few. Yes, Africa seems to be rising, a rising star. However, there are many things that have to be done to consolidate the gains and to realize that full potential, and faster because poverty can wait, that have been made so far. So towards the achievement of making sure that there is shared prosperity and human security for all African citizens, regions, and countries. These are speeding up the integration agenda, achieving gender equality and empowerment of women, and we are really including women, youth, and the poor. They should all be empowered and included, inclusiveness. Tackling the root causes of conflict, celebrating unity in diversity, and building inclusive political and human rights cultures. The current functioning of institutions, international institutions, and principles underlying international governance call for a review in the light of these changes, or at least recalibrating with a view to accommodating the growing diversity in voice and economic weight, and to sustain long-term development progress. Many were designed long before the rise of the South and do not match contemporary results anymore. There is a mismatch now in the running of these international institutions vis-à-vis reality on the ground. Reforms in global institutions must be complemented by stronger cooperation with regional institutions, and in some cases, broader mandates for those regional institutions. The accountability of organizations must be extended to a wider group of countries as well as to a wider group of stakeholders. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, let me once again thank you for being here to discuss, to debate the topic, the theme on hand, which is very important for Africa's future. I think UNDP and our eminent panel must be really thanked very deeply for sparing time to come and tackle this timely, this topical subject, which is the subject of this afternoon. So let us join hands, stakeholders and partners, and take Africa to new heights and build the renaissance of the continent in the context of the rise of the South. So please welcome, and thank you very much. I look forward. Better the panelists than me, because I can see the topic is very challenging, and I can see that the audience is very eager to engage. And we have a wonderful moderator. I'm sure she will keep discussions alive. Thank you very much indeed.